Welcome to the Conscia product demo. It's a proven fact that customers engage with a brand to a higher degree when the experience presented to them reflects what the brand knows about the customer. This is where Conscia Storyblok's ability to deliver personalized content provides a win-win for both brands and customers. Brands are able to deliver the right content to customers, and customers increase their engagement in response to a delivered personalized experience. In this video, we'll showcase how Conscia integrates with Storyblok to deliver personalized content to customers across multiple channels based on their individual preferences and behaviors. Let's start with a quick overview of Storyblok and Conscia. Storyblok is an enterprise-ready CMS with a headless architecture, visual editor, content blocks, and API-first integrations. Conscia is a digital experience orchestration platform that orchestrates experiences between all your composable technologies and your ever-growing list of digital channels. It has a marketing and business user-friendly interface and API-first integration, and we refer to it as the brain of the composable stack. With Storyblok as the CMS, customers can easily create and manage content ready for their digital channels. Conscia can help them orchestrate this content across various touchpoints, ensuring that the right content is delivered to the right audience at the right time. Let's take a look at how this integration works by using our Entertainment Hub space as an example. This Storyblok space contains video game content that is ready for use across our various channels. For this showcase, we'll focus on a landing page on our web channel, but keep in mind the Conscia Storyblok integration works for any channel. In front of you is a typical landing page a customer would experience. This landing page is powered by a series of components, each of which drives the content on each zone of the page. The first two zones, the featured collection and the video games, are both components that interact directly with Storyblok to pull content in real time. We have two additional components on the page that pull from other composable solutions. In the top right-hand corner, you can see a context card that shows you what context we have of the customer. Conscia can source this information from a CDP such as Segment as part of its orchestration prior to getting content from Storyblok. Coming back to this example, when Conscia's orchestration engine doesn't have any context about the customer, the default rule for both components is activated. These rules then fetch Zelda-themed games for our featured collection and a hand-selected set of games for our second component. Now, when we look at the same page but pass in information about the customer, you'll notice we have a completely different experience. Here, our customer Scott Lang is visiting the page, and as you can see from the context card, Scott is a family man, loves Disney, and has a platinum membership. This context is available to Conscia, which triggers specific experience rules in the orchestration engine and in turn fetches tailored content from Storyblok. You can see our featured collection is now Mario themed, and our featured games are more family friendly. For our last example, we'll visit the page as Cassie. Again, from the customer context card, you can see that Cassie is part of the millennial customer segment. And so the experience she sees is tailored based on the experience rules in Conscia, which drives personalized content coming from Storyblok. Now that you've seen the experience from a customer perspective, let's look at how business users and marketers can enable these experiences. In the Conscia Experience Studio, components are the foundational building block. Each component has a set of experience rules, and that is what drives personalized content to different customers. As a quick overview, we've pre-set up a connection to our Storyblok instance and have also set up a few Storyblok components in the Experience Studio. Each one of these components leverages the Storyblok connection and is also connected to one of the content type blocks, as you can see here. For this showcase, we'll dive into the experience rules that drive personalization. Business users and marketers create experiences here on the Experience Rules page. On the left-hand side, you can see components we saw earlier on the front end. Looking closely, these components have been grouped together into a component group, and we've associated this group to the web channel. I mentioned earlier that components are the building block of experiences, and as such, you can reuse them across different component groups and even across different channels. Here, we're reusing our Storyblok components in our in-store kiosk channel. This reusability of components lends itself well to the realities of enterprise organizations that are rapidly expanding across multiple channels as their digital ecosystem evolves. Let's take a look at the rule which is driving our Mario featured collection and sourcing content from Storyblok. Experience rules have three main elements to them: a definition, a trigger condition, and a target experience. In the definition portion of the rule, we can define the overall behavior of the rule, such as if it's a catch-all rule, how it interacts with other rules in terms of priority, and whether it acts as an A/B test. From there, we can go on to the trigger conditions. In this section, we can optionally define a time frame for when the rule will activate, as well as the trigger condition that activates the rule. You can see that this rule will activate when the customer is part of the family customer segment. Conscia is designed with marketers in mind, and so business users can edit the criteria by using the drag and drop editor to refine the trigger condition as needed. We've set up a few context types here, but any context you have about the customer or the behavior can be used. With our trigger condition defined, we can set the target experience to return content from Storyblok. The integration between Conscia and Storyblok supports two different types of components. The current component we're in is a dynamic component, and so our target experience allows us to define a set of criteria which will match several records in Storyblok and return them as part of the component's response. Our rule here is matching records in Storyblok that contain Super Mario in the title and belongs to our selected list of platforms. Anytime the Conscia engine is queried and this rule matches, the dynamic set of records in Storyblok is returned. For example, if we were to create a new record in Storyblok, it would show up as part of our personalized content. Conscia's integration with Storyblok also supports static components that allow business teams to select a curated set of records coming from Storyblok. Here, if we look at our video games component, we can take a look at the different records that we want to return as part of the experience. In the static component, I can select another record from Storyblok and add it as part of the component's personalized experience. Conscia's integration with Storyblok also supports A/B testing. This allows content from Storyblok to be set up as content variants, where business users can define the test split and tag each variant to a campaign code for analytics reporting. Now that you've seen the front-end experiences and the orchestration engine that drives it, I hope you can see how marketers can not only create content in Storyblok, but now have the control to tailor those experiences using Conscia's personalization engine. Thanks for watching and for your interest in the Storyblok Conscia integration.